Hello and welcome to this session on SQL Server tutorial. Today we are going to talk about SQL Server, what benefit it provides, and some queries and some SQL syntaxes which will help you understand how to use SQL queries. Now let's see what's in it for us today. We will discuss what is SQL Server, the usage of SQL Server, different SQL Server editions and the differences between them, and then what are the advantages of SQL Server instances, and after that I'll show you execution of some queries, some insert statements on the SQL Server instance which I have installed. Now what is SQL Server? In any application development today, in any computer application which we develop, database SQL Server plays a very important and pivotal role. SQL servers are used for persistence of information in your database, which can be retrieved, mined, data mined, or you can query it at a later point of time. The benefit of having any SQL server is that data is persisted in a structured, efficient manner so that it can be retrieved later quickly and meaningfully. So SQL Server is a relational database management system in which you can create tables, two-dimensional tables, and connect them using referential integrity like primary key, foreign key, and other kind of integrity constraints you can maintain in this relational database. SQL Server is developed and marketed by Microsoft. So this is a Microsoft product, but it is compatible with all the technologies which you might be using or you might want to use, like Node.js, Java, etc., where you want to connect your middleware application server with Microsoft SQL Server. Now, what is the usage of SQL Server? Apart from the definition which I just shared with you for maintaining and building databases, persistent databases, there are other usages also which I'll explain you. Now the first one is SQL Server Analysis Service, which is used to analyze data. Now the SQL Server Analysis Service, or SSAS, is a multi-dimensional analysis tool that features online analytical processing, provide powerful data mining capabilities, and deeper dimensions to business information within a relational database. Multi-dimensional analysis is an online analytical processing technique, OLAP technique, that produces the ability to analyze large quantities of data by storing data in axes and cells instead of traditional relational two-dimensional view in rows and columns. SSAS places predictive analytic capabilities in the hands of information workers by creating an instant connection to backend data using familiar applications such as Microsoft Excel, SharePoint, etc. for analysis, visual representation, and collaboration. The next is SQL Server Reporting Services, which is used to generate reports. Now, SSRS is a framework of reporting mechanisms such as the report builder, report designer, report manager, and report server that work together through a web interface to enable the development of concise, interactive reporting solutions in print or web format. Report Builder and Report Designer are two SSRS components for generating reports. Report Builder is a simple solution for the information worker or business user to create quick reports without the need to understand the core structure of the data. The Report Designer is a tool for developers because it adds complexity to custom reports development and you create data models in it. Using this tool requires an understanding of the Business Intelligence Development Studio shell in Visual Studio and the underlying structure of the data, so you have to be aware of it thoroughly. According to Microsoft, the report server is the core process engine in SSRS that manages the processing and delivery of reports using processors. The report manager is an administrative tool that controls reporting services through a web interface. Now let's talk about another important component, which is SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS, which is being used to perform ETL operations, extract, transform, load. Now, SSIS is the data warehousing arm of the SQL Server, equipped with superior extract, transform, and load capabilities, ETL. It provides the vehicle for moving data from different data sources to another and changing the data if necessary. The three components in the SSIS platform for starting the data integration process are the import and export wizard, SSIS designer, and SSIS API programming. The import and export wizard simply transfers data from source to destination but does not include data transformation capabilities. It's the SSIS designer is an integrated component of the business intelligence development studio used for the development and maintenance of integration service packages. SSIS API programming module allows you to code SSIS packages using any number of programming languages. So there are a lot of features which are available to you in order to manage your data, create your data pipeline, structure it, build visualization reports, perform ETL operations, etc. So it's an entire solution, enterprise solution. Now let's see what are the different kind of SQL Server editions. Microsoft provides 5 editions with various tools and services and pricing options as per the needs. So the 2 editions of SQL Server which are free of charge are SQL Server Developer and SQL Server Express. Now the Developer SQL Server Edition works and functions exactly like an Enterprise SQL Edition. The only difference is the license is used for testing and development purpose only. This edition is generally used by developers to build and test applications on top of the SQL Server, but they can't take it to production. SQL Server Express Edition now is the free entry-level database version and is ideal for learning and building desktop and small server data-driven applications, but not meant for any serious computation, while also having incredibly limited features. Now the other editions are used for commercial purposes. SQL Server Web Edition. It is a low total cost of ownership option for web hosts and web value add providers to provide scalability, affordability, and manageability capabilities for small to large scale web properties. The SQL Server Enterprise Edition delivers comprehensive high-end data center capabilities with blazing fast performance, unlimited virtualization, and end-to-end business intelligence enabling high service levels for mission-critical workloads and end-user access to data insights. This version has all the features required for big data. Now, SQL Server Standard Edition, this delivers basic data management and business intelligence database for departments and small organizations to run their applications and support common development tools for on-premise and cloud enabling effective data management with minimal IT resources. Now let's look at some advantages of SQL Server Instances. Its installation is of different versions on one machine. You can maintain different installations. The maintenance of production, development, and test environments can be done separately. You can maintain a standby server. So installation is streamlined. It can be installed via setup wizard and the prerequisites updates are detected and downloaded by the installer automatically. The complexity of the installing the software is minimized significantly because of automatic installation of updates. Other components such as analytical and database services can be installed separately afterward. Automatic updation also reduces maintenance costs quite significantly. SQL Server 2008 uses policy management to detect security policies that are not compliant. So this feature allows only authorized personnel access to the database. Security audits and events can be written automatically to log files. MS SQL Server has built-in transparent data compression feature also along with encryption. Users don't need to modify programs in order to encrypt the data. The MS SQL Server has access controlled coupled with efficient permission management tools. Further, it offers an enhanced performance when it comes to data collection. Okay, and coming to the cost reduction, so it has lower cost of ownership. SQL Server includes effective data management and data mining tools along with disk partitioning. Your server's optimum maintenance can be ensured by following effective data management practices. These practices also help you ensure the availability and recoverability of data.
Choose from over 300 in-demand skills and get access to 1,000 plus hours of video content for free. Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
Now let's move on to creating a database in SQL Server. So I have installed the default SQL Express on my machine, and now I'm gonna create a database called SQL Tutorial. So let's create a database called SQL underscore tutorial. Okay. Now I will write certain queries on top of it. First, I'll create a table customers. Let's create a table customers which has columns customer ID, which is its primary key, the name, which has varchar, customer ID is int, age, which is an integer, gender, male, female, will notify it with one character, address, which is generally a large string value, so we'll keeping it varchar 20, item, which is varchar 15, and price. Okay, so let's create this table. Okay, so now if you see, this table has been created, dbo.customers. Now all the relevant columns which I created here has been present. Now I have prepared a script to insert some sample values so that we can query this. So I have inserted around about 20 values. So let's just check whether my data is present. I'll do a select star from my customer tables, and you can see now the 20 rows with the customer ID, customer name, age, gender, address, the item which the customer has purchased, and the price at which he has purchased. Now let me show some variations of the queries which we can perform. Now select star means you have selected all the columns. I only want to select some selective columns like customer name and gender. So I can also do that. You just need to give the name of the customer and the gender column. Next query. I want to check what is the distinct values of the gender in my customer tables. So I will only get two values, which is male and female. So there is no other value apart from M and F in my customer table. Next, I have a query where I want to find which all are the customers who have purchased an item. Who all are the customers who have purchased an item which is having price greater than 250 rupees. Okay, great. So out of 20, only 12 are the customers who have purchased a price item which is greater than 250. And you can see all the items which are listed over here are greater than 250. Next, okay, I want the customers who are living in New York. Okay, fine. I just have to change the where clause where instead of the price, I am now looking at the address which is in New York. Now it is also possible that you can apply another filter. Okay, people living in New York but age is greater than 28. Perfect. I only have two customers who are living in New York but having age greater than 28, or I want the female customers who are purchasing items greater than 380 rupees. Okay, only 1 out of 20. Okay, Elena. Now, we saw examples of AND condition. There is also possibility that, okay, you want female customers or customers who are greater than age 30. So you will get both the records, age greater than 30 or female customers. Both the records will come. Or customers who are in Chicago or purchasing items greater than 420. So these are the examples of OR conditions. Now let's take another example of NOT. Now I want that the customers who are not purchasing price less than 650, the reverse, right? Greater than 650. So I'll get this answer. Or I want the customers who are not living in New York, apart from New York, any other address. So all these customers are there. Okay. So now these are the examples which I showed you are the examples where you can play around, you can filter data applying the where clause. Now let's take another example of aggregated functions in SQL. Now amongst the list of customers, the data set of customers which I have, I want to know what is the minimum age of my customer. Minimum age is 18 years. So the minimum age amongst all the customers is 18 and the maximum is, I can just change it to max, is 61. So the age range of my customers who are purchasing are from 18 to 61. Okay, now another example, hypothetical example. I want the average age of my customers where customer ID is greater than 105. Okay, so if you see, select star where customer ID is greater than 105. I have 15 customers and amongst these my average age of my customers is 35. Similarly, instead of average, I can take the sum total of the age above 105, which is 539, sum total. Okay. Now I'll show you an example of like. I want the customers list where addresses which consist of letter E in their address, anywhere in the string, beginning, in the middle, because I have like is a keyword, like percentage, E percentage means E can come in any part of the string. Okay. And if I just change this example, I remove the percentage from here, it means that I want the customers whose addresses end with E. So only Pune will come into the picture. Okay. So this is the difference. Now coming, select star from customers where age which between 20 and 30. So I want all the customers which have belong to age between age 20 and 30 inclusive. So 20 and 30 both are inclusive. So it means the customers with age 20 and all 30 will also come in this result set. Next example, I want the count of total customers in my data set, which is 20. I inserted 20. So I know now I have 20. I want the count of male customers. Oh, out of 20, 19 are male. Okay, great. And if I group by, now let's see an example of group by. So I want the count of customers grouped by address. So how many are living in Boston, how many in Chicago, Detroit, Miami, New York and Pune. So I have a customer wise total, count total basis the address, group by. Okay. So it's a very important concept. You can group by any column and then you can do a measure count, a sum, an average. You can do any aggregated calculation basis the other columns which are not in the group by. So like another example, I want an average age per address. So in Boston, the average age of my customer is 34 who are purchasing items. Chicago 35, Pune 43. So like that, you can do some analysis. This is all data analytics. Now let's see another example. I want to filter data now after doing a group by. It's not, so please note this is different from where clause. In where clause means filtering data before grouping. Having clause is used once you want to filter data after grouping. So you are doing a group by address, count of customers, and then only those cities should come where count is greater than 2. Okay. So the customers, only those addresses are listed where customers count is greater than 2. Okay. Now this is an example of inner queries. You want group by customer name and age, only those customers having age greater than the average age of overall. Okay. So my average age, if I say my average age from customers is 36. So overall, all the customers which are more than 36 should come over here, listed over here. And that's what has happened. Okay. Now let's talk about order by. It's like sorting. You want to order by address, so it has ordered by default B, C, D, M, N, P, which is ascending. And if you apply keyword descending, so it will do the reverse way. Similarly, I can order by age, which is descending, highest age first, lowest below. Or you can do order by multiple columns, where order by address descending, and then same address, within the same address the customers should be ascending. So addresses are descending, but within the address the customer names are sorted in ascending fashion. A first, B, C, D, like that. Now there's an inbuilt function in SQL Server reverse. If you see, this has reversed the name of the customers. It's in reverse fashion. Okay, the characters are reversed. Another example is where you are, now this is not on the table, this is just a sample query where you are replacing vegetable with fruit. So orange is a fruit, so you have replaced vegetable with a fruit. It is just a, you don't need a table. You can just also write such queries where you don't need a table. Okay. Then there is a function called ltrim, which will remove all the blanks from the left hand side. rtrim, which will remove the blanks from the right hand side. Okay, let me read an rtrim. It will remove the blanks from the right hand side. And then there is trim function, which will remove from both the sides, left and right. Now let's take an example of update command. I want to update the name of my customer whose customer ID is 103. First, let's check what's the name. So customer name right now is Whipple. I want to change it to Smith, and if I requery, it is changed to Smith. Okay. So this is an example of update. Now if I want to delete, let me check who is at 101. I want to delete customer 101. Joseph, I will delete it. And now if I want to check, okay, there is no customer at 101. Okay. Now let's take another example. This is like another example of inbuilt function ASCII. It will give you the ASCII code of the character, ASCII A, ASCII 4, etc., etc. Right? So there is n number of possibilities. There's an n number of queries which you can write, but this is just a glimpse and basic understanding of for you to get started with SQL queries on SQL Server. I hope you all had a great learning session, and I hope to meet you in my next session. Thank you.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.